60 days ago, I couldn't sleep properly, my heart was working harder than it was meant to, and I was about to run one of the hardest marathons of my life. So I set myself a challenge, 60 days to completely transform my health. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, just tracking these 4 things. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I did, and let me tell you, it was not smooth sailing. There were injuries.
Ow, 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 ow. That is not good.
Restless nights. I just can't get back to sleep for some reason. And moments where I wondered, am I even going to get to the end of this? But before I get to working my butt off, let me explain why I'm doing this. So since I moved to Australia, my life has been amazing, but also I've been really working hard, my career and things like that, that I've started to run on empty, it feels like. I haven't been sleeping well for months and I've just been trying to ignore it, and I've signed up for the Gold Coast Marathon on the 5th of July. I'm not in shape for it, let me tell you that. So if I don't fix this now, I will either cross the finish line broken, or I might not even complete it, which would be heartbreaking. Let's quickly run through the 4 areas we'll be tracking in my health during this 60-day challenge. Number 1 is my resting heart rate. Tracking this is effective for monitoring your stress levels and detecting any initial symptoms of illness. And the general rule of thumb is that the lower your resting heart rate is, hopefully the stronger and more efficient your heart is. The second one is upper body strength. As you can probably tell right now, I'm not the muscliest guy. Number 3 is my sleep quality. Because I'm pushing my body and mind to its limit, I need ideally 8 or 9 hours a night. Number 4 is cardio. I have ran marathons before, but my goal is anything less than 3 hours for my finish time. We've got about 29 minutes to shave off it. I'm really excited to show you the journey. Don't know what it's gonna look like, haven't begun it yet, but hopefully by the end of it, I'm super strong, can run 1,000,000 miles. We'll see, let's get into it. First wall was the strength training. I did not expect it to be so tough. I think because I'm quite a lightweight build and I'm used to running many miles instead of lifting many pounds, it was just a big shock to the system that every morning when I had to wake up to do one, I'd be like, oh no. And although this isn't something that I've been tracking, I've been making ginger shots every Monday and I'll filter them into 12 glass bottles for my wife and I to drink. And I don't know how much good they're doing, but there's some vitamins in there and it does give you a bit of an energy boost. And if anything, mentally, it makes you feel like you're looking after yourself, even if, you know, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Now, you've probably noticed this lovely thing in my ear. Let me explain. So XenoWell have very kindly sponsored the video, thank you very much guys, and they sent me their Luna device, which is a vagus nerve stimulator. So basically the vagus nerve is the main communication highway of your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body responsible for rest and digest, slowing your heart rate, breaking down food, supporting your immune system. And there's a bunch of this nerve that surfaces right at the ear, and you pop this device in and the Luna sends small, completely painless electrical stimulations through that branch. And for what I'm about to put my body through, those 3 things massive enormously. So XenoWell have very kindly given our lovely community 15% off, and you can claim that either by scanning the QR code here or pressing the link in the top of the description below, and be sure to use code SAM4 to claim that sweet discount.
I've got a 13-kilometer general aerobic run, which means about 15 to 25% slower than the pace I'll be running the marathon at. I noticed that running in Brisbane is way harder in the morning than it is in the evening. It's beautiful to be out here, and honestly, I can't complain when I'm surrounded by all this beauty, this peace and quiet.
It is the end of week 2, and I've got my ginger shot. Basically, this week has been quite intense, more intense than I thought it would be. I had a 9-mile run and it's kind of destroyed my legs. So I'm trying to basically stock up on lots of protein to repair the soreness. Sleep quality has actually improved this week, and it's improved because of the amount of physical load on the body. I get to the end of the night, and even if I've had 2 big coffees that day, I'm really sleepy. So that's great. Good morning. It's Wednesday, week 3, and this is my typical morning hydration routine. I'll show you. Tiny little bit of salt just for that hydration and to get my electrolytes up. And one of the most researched back supplements in the entire world, creatine. So I always do a teaspoon of that every morning in my giant mug of water. And Maddie and I, we're not currently in the tax bracket to afford fancy water filters fitted on our taps. So we've just got this Brita water filter that we top up. That's not good. There's two sections to improve my sleep that I want to focus on for the next 2 months. The first one is my pre-nightly routine. It's been a bit rubbish lately. And the second one is finding a few one-time either purchases, things I can switch on like a aircon or fan to improve the quality of my sleep when I'm sleeping. Did a bit of research and I found this 3-2-1 technique, which explains to get a better night's sleep, don't eat any food 3 hours before bed, don't drink any liquids 2 hours before bed, and then don't use any screens, like don't watch any screens for 1 hour before bed. I'm also using my Xenowell Luna in the evenings. I'll get into bed, I'll grab my Kindle, and then I can put the Xenowell Luna into my ear and I can just read my book, and I do a session of that vagus nerve stimulator for 20 minutes, which is amazing. Week 3, this is where injuries were starting to happen. Slight shin pain in the left shin.
Ow, 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 ow. That is not good.
Sometimes a bit of knee pain in the right knee.
That is really not good, actually.
And it led to me having to take some days off, which really sucked because when you're training for a marathon personal best time, you're like, oh, I need to do all the training sessions. But coaches would say, you know, you need to rest because if you're injured and you just keep running on it, you're only going to get more injured and then you can't run any race. And at times I genuinely thought about quitting this marathon, like, if I don't get sub 3, is it even worth doing it? And then I thought to myself, oh, don't be so ridiculous, Sam. Like, you know, running a marathon isn't about getting a personal best time that you can flex on your Instagram. It's about working towards something, doing it on the day. Doesn't matter how slow you are, doesn't matter if you run it in 8 hours or 2 hours. It's just about finishing the race. But pulling back on the running forced me to talk about the thing that I didn't really want to. So weeks 3 and 4, with the running reduced, I was having to focus more on the strength training, which I absolutely hated.
I'm really finding these strength training quite hard.
It feels very foreign to me, but it's funny, every time I go back to a strength training session, it's getting a little bit easier to lift those 20 kilograms above my head. Whenever I finish one, I feel really accomplished because I know that physically and mentally it was really difficult for me. I didn't get much enjoyment out of it, but I love that I was able to still overcome that and do it anyway. That made me feel really proud.
There's dog poo off in there. It's the only downside when you run through the grass of a park. You might get a little surprise on your shoe. So the current setup for the upper body strength training is these dumbbells I got from Facebook Marketplace. So yeah, pull-ups in the park whenever I run past it because I don't have a pull-up bar here. Push-ups at home. And then the other 3 exercises, overhead press, Romanian deadlift, and squats. They all are weighted with dumbbells.
So yesterday I was meant to do just a gentle 4-mile run, and a couple of miles into it, I started getting like shin pain, which if you're a runner, you know that's a bad sign. And I did some feeling of my shin, and it's not in the bone. There's no pain in my bone. It's more just the muscle. So I think my calves are too tight, even though I'm stretching after every run. Did a gentle 4-miler today, really gentle. It's definitely muscular pain, but I did still feel it after the run was done, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. So weeks 5, 6 and 7, everything starts clicking into place. I've built the habits now and I'm in the routine of it. My sleep is improving all around.
The sleep last night, a consistent 8 hours and 12 minutes.
My resting heart rate is generally lower. My shin is starting to feel better. Happy days, I can run more.
Let me tell you, Australian autumn is the best season to run in. You've got these crisp blue skies, gorgeous sunshine, and the temperature is perfect. It's like a slightly cooler British summer, and it's just divine. And you feel like you could be out here all day, every day.
But then just as I thought I've absolutely nailed this, week 7 slaps me in the face and says, stop being a silly boy. My poor sleep returns because I am not sticking to my sleep schedule. I'm eating snacks before bed. My knee pain and shin pain is returning a little bit, and I miss a load of running sessions, which I feel really rubbish about. 6 weeks of work behind me, it felt like I lost everything, all progress in 7 days. It was rubbish. Good morning. If you can't already tell from the dread on my face, we're wrapping up this 60-day challenge, but not wrapping up the marathon training. We've got 6 weeks to go with 15 miles of running today, 12 of those miles at this pace. So that's going to be really fun. And I'm looking at the grey day today, and all I'm thinking is, I really don't want to do this. I'm coming down with the cold.
Finishing the 60-day challenge on a high. Look, it hasn't fixed all my health problems. There are still days when I get anxiety. There are still days when it's really bloody hard to get out of bed and go run, especially a long run like this. And, you know, the resting heart rate sometimes does spike when work gets a bit stressful. But it's kind of just building lifestyle habits is what I've learned. Building one habit you can stick to and just focus on that.
So let's have a little look at the data and compare when I started this challenge to now when we finished it. Let's see what it says. So let's go to around the start of this challenge, sort of early April-ish. About average time in sleep, 7 hours 47, 6 hours 20 here. And I'm just looking at the bars and they're a little bit shorter, 6 hour 46. And now let's skip to today. Oh my gosh, look at that. So sleep for this day, 8 hours 10, 8 hours 54. That was a big one, 8 hours 22, 8 hours 6 minutes. Now look, it's only gone up, what, like an hour? I would say, but that hour, I feel the difference. I'm just an all-round happier person. Just life feels more wholesome. The recovery from the running and the strength training and all of that good stuff has been so much better because of that improvement in sleep. And that's why the sleep thing for me was the biggest thing. And the XenoWell Luna has assisted me with that greatly, helping me to not only drift off to sleep, but have a higher HRV and basically a more restful sleep. So that's been good. And now let's look at our resting heart rate. So between March and April, the average was about 59 beats per minute. I must say this isn't the best test because I don't always wear my health watch. And let's skip to this month, an average of about 60 beats per minute. So it's actually gone up a little bit by 1 beats per minute. Now, factoring in that I've done a lot more harder workouts this month, so that could be a big factor in it. It's probably not the best test for that, but that's the data. Then in terms of my running, now March we did 123 miles of running, April we did 100 miles of running, and it's currently the 20th of May when I'm filming this, and we've done 82 miles of running, and I had that brutal 15 miler at the weekend. And then with the strength training, this is my body after the 8-week challenge. Admittedly, I did do a strength training workout before this so I could be in my best shape possible, but that's what I look like. And I think the biggest metric of this to me is that at the start of this challenge, I could barely do 3 or 4 pull-ups. Now at the end of this challenge, I can do a whole 7 pull-ups all in one go. That might not seem like a lot, but if you've ever done a pull-up before, you will know how difficult it is if you're starting from nothing. So I'm really proud of that. But while we've been sitting here looking at these numbers, I've been feeling something, not like pride or anything like that, but more relief. You know, when I first moved to Australia, I thought the hard part was over. I was in this gorgeous country with a new adventure ahead. But nobody tells you how disorienting rebuilding your life from scratch can be. And somewhere in amongst that chaos, I stopped looking after one of the most essential things, and that was my body. So this challenge wasn't really about those metrics that we tracked. It was about proving to myself that I could show up. Show up when I was injured, when I was tired, even when every part of me wanted to quit. Especially then. So you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to live in Australia. You just need to commit to one health habit. Do it every day. Do it badly, do it miss a day or two, do it even when you don't want to, and keep doing it until it not only becomes a habit, but it becomes something that you're actually proud of. So if you're living somewhere new or trying something new, going into a new career, don't put your health at the bottom of the list. It should be the top, okay? So don't start Monday, start today, trust me. Don't forget that 15% off for the XenoL Luna. You can either scan the QR code here or use the link in the description below, and make sure to use the code also in the description. See you in the next one. Now, if you want to keep the adventure going, don't click away yet. Go watch this video on screen now that YouTube thinks you'll absolutely love. And if you want to subscribe and join the lovely community, then press that image of my face right now. See you in the next one.